just want you to listen to this. What? Oh yeah, that's definitely an option. Okay, so we have a cold open. Yeah, listen to this. What year was this?
So anyway, 2016.
So wait, so you went to Nashville?
Yeah, so I go to Music Row, and there's Kerm's studio, okay? And then here's this place. There's a parking spot. I mean, parking's a premium. It's a real cool little Music Row.
I've been.
You've been there?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm at the tail end, okay, and here's Kerm's studio over here. It didn't say Kerm, but it said Loud, and there's Masterphonics and Loud. That's up. I recorded there later, but let me tell you how it went down. So I went into this little building where there's some offices, and there was an AM. There was an AM.
That's for you.
There was an AM Christian radio station, WGRN, WKRN. Doesn't matter. So that guy's name was Lloyd, and then the guy who sold advertising for the radio station was across the hall from his little studio with his equipment where he broadcast from. He puts that thing on autopilot, you know. Anyway, so there was an office there. This girl was a psychiatrist for, I think, for people who came to Nashville and left disenfranchised because they found out that they were losers and they just didn't have what it took.
Yeah.
And they had to go home with nothing.
Yeah.
She counsels these people.
Yeah.
So that's the first story. Now I'm reading this shit. So they come out of the law and says, wannabes, I guess they must come by one a day or two, you know, whatever. Yeah.
So,
but I'm a pretty big guy, you know, and I come in like I own the place, which I do. And competence, you know, reeking of competence in all business.
but did you already have the songs written?
I had no strings attached written. I wanted to record it.
Okay, you just wanted to start with the one.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I wanted a song, you know.
So how'd you find a producer? You're just
No. So here it is. So these guys, I'm like, hey, you know this dame, you know? And they're like, give me the real cold shoulder. Not friendly at all. They're like, no, she's not here. I'm like, all right. Well, I want to record a song. So they went back in their way, and I went my way. So then across the street is a serious recording studio curb. Now, this looks like a CIA compound, all right? It's got like archways, you know, like this, kind of like a Mediterranean type look, you know. And you in the back, you don't even see a door, but there's a back door. You go up these little steps, and it's got codes, you know, to get in, and there's cameras. It looks like a CIA compound.
Yeah.
So I got my Mercedes right down there.
Yeah.
Now that's 5 years ago. It was looking good, you know, all good shape. So you know, right, I parked there. And I grabbed my suitcase. It's inside. So I'm gonna go get a shirt on. So I walk up to the door and I got my suitcase. I got a blazer on. I got my pimp slippers. You know, I'm looking
Pimp slippers.
I'm looking presidential.
You're looking fresh.
I'm looking presidential. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh. So, that's a preview of a conversation that is available on my Patreon right now. We're back with another episode of Jacob V Weekly. We have one of our patrons here in the studio with us. Baby brother is back. And on the Patreon, you can, I think the most recent post is a thing I'm calling the Ballad of This Guy. Every conversation I have with this guy is 17 minutes long at minimum, and usually at least once a day. And it's part of why I've been so busy and why the podcast is always late, is because I've been doing work and odd jobs musically and audio-wise for people like this. So before we get started, we want to remind you that we donate the top of every Jacob V Weekly to Caddyshack of Hamel, Illinois. Find them on Facebook at Caddyshack IL. Caddyshack. And Save a Life or 9. Again, patreon.com/JacobV supports this show at $1 per week, and also gives you access to tons of exclusive content that we're constantly trying to post weekly. Also follow the show at Jacob V Weekly on Instagram. Clay, how are you?
Oh, I'm swell.
What's going on over there?
Nothing. I had some cats on me.
You got the cats are happy to see you.
Shelter and they ran
My
away.
goodness, praise God. You want to jump right in?
Yeah, yeah.
Brian Laundrie was found dead.
Well, remains that are believed to be him, correct?
It felt really confirmed, right?
I don't know. I see memes, and memes usually are made in some sort of
In God's image.
what? No, in like a disbelief or like a humorous retort.
BBC.com, Brian Laundrie, remains of Gabby Petito's fiance found, says the FBI.
As long as they confirmed it, I guess.
Found in Florida Park on Wednesday are those of Brian Laundrie, the fiance of murdered blogger Gabby Petito. He was the person of interest in Gabby's death, returned to Florida last month from a joint trip without his partner. Her body was later found, blah, 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 in Wyoming, where the couple had been traveling. And then dental records. Yeah, they did dental records.
Well, you know what? That'll do it.
Yeah.
If you have dental, they have records.
Yeah, so I guess that's cinched up. I guess they didn't need Dog the Bounty Hunter after all.
Well, at least he got his time. He got his time to shine. Hell, maybe he'll come back. Maybe they'll put him on Bravo. You getting me over there?
Man, it's hard to know.
I'm right here.
Yeah.
This thing is in me, pretty much. Mm-hmm. So, can't get much closer than that.
No, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to leave you cranked.
Pimp slippers.
Pimp slippers. So what? Yeah. So do you understand when I get stressed out about having to see that guy?
Well, for a second, I thought you were interviewing Alex Jones. I was confused.
That would be a huge upgrade. That's funny. We'll get to some stuff that may allude to thoughts of him in a minute. Yeah. So more will come, I'm sure. He may be a guest on this show, not Alex Jones, but this guy I've been doing some work with, who is a real handful. Alec Baldwin accidentally kills one, injures another on the set of a Western. I think they're calling Rust.
Yeah. I thought it would be like Rust, like based off the old video game or something, because everyone's going.
No, that would be a terrible movie.
It would be horrible. Yeah. So
Are they going to finish the movie?
Well, I'm certain that there's probably going to be some time down, but she was a head cinematographer, I believe.
Oh, really?
On site, I guess. And so someone gave him a prop pistol that wasn't containing blanks. And then I saw.
How does that happen?
Well, it happens all. Well, think about the movie The Crow.
But I think that was a
Bruce
hit.
Lee's son died that way. Huh?
I think that was a hit.
That
Brandon Lee?
wasn't a fucking hit. Brandon Lee. No, he was getting shot at by 10 different guns that like all had blanks in them. One had like a live round in it, I guess.
Was it even a I thought they were trying to argue it was like a fragment
Or
of the blank.
Something going on, but it killed him, regardless. And this is a similar situation where, I mean, they have functioning guns on set, but usually they have blanks in them.
What about Jet Li?
What about him?
What about him?
Well, I don't know. He's gotten older. He had his time to shine.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one in The One with Jason Statham. That was a big one. He was in that Lethal Weapon 4. He was in Lethal Weapon 4, the worst one.
He was in what?
Lethal Weapon 4.
Is that the one where the ladies are all pregnant?
That's the one with maybe. That's the one with yes. No, is that one? Yeah. So that's the one with also with Chris Rock is in it. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
He's in it. Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah. I really feel like I watched all.
I think I
four.
recently rewatched all of them.
Yeah, but I feel like they've got progressively almost insultingly.
I
worse
kind of
every
love
movie.
them.
Well, I mean, that whole I'm getting too old for this shit, and then it goes on for 10 years.
And then, but here's the thing: I'm getting too old for this shit, and then the saxophone.
It's the saxophone. Yeah.
When the saxophone comes
Every
in,
time there's
Daddy.
that sad moment or something. It's like, oh God, I'm sorry, she's dead, and it's like, yeah.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
It's like what? like you want to hear the emotions out the brass.
You know, I do get annoyed that they try to tell me how to feel. Like, I can't handle emotions. But you know what I noticed about, like, that Louis C.K. show, Horace and Pete? Is there was no soundtrack. So it was like live theater or something, and that made me really uncomfortable.
Things like that happen. You got to start somewhere, you know? Sometimes you're trying to do something new, I guess. That's a thing also. I'm not sure. Actually,
I don't want new.
I never watched Horace and Pete. Or it was a show?
Yeah. I think it was on Hulu or something, but it was like, you know, scripted and acted, and it wasn't like even like the Louis show where he was more, you know.
Well, even Lucky Louie or whatever, which came out before Louie.
Oh, yeah.
HBO sitcom.
You know, the one bit I always think about from Lucky Louie is when they go to the grocery store and they want to write a check, and they're like, well, we'd have to verify it. So they're like, okay, never mind, and they leave. And he says, you know, we really like picking it all out, though.
I again, haven't watched that show in a long time. I know it's on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like 5 or 6 years.
Listen, I get it. I get it that you would like to have headphones on. This is just easier without them. So if you could just speak up a little bit.
I'm trying. I see that's the problem is I can really help with the volume if I have a headset. But if I don't, then I'm just going to talk. And if it doesn't get picked up, then that's kind of your fault.
No, I got it. I'm getting you.
That's good.
Oh, yeah, you're getting got.
I can't do much else. I'm just laying here with a microphone in my face. And
Did you read this? Tesla's market value hits $1 trillion after Hertz agrees to buy 100,000 of its cars.
I mean, that's kind of ridiculous.
It's a crazy investment.
Actually, I was talking to somebody about this recently, and like the value of that entire company is going to plummet because as soon as everyone else can, you know, build an electric car that's, you know, of that quality, if not more, every other like automotive production team is going to make a better performing and, you know, overall just better quality vehicle than the
Really?
Tesla. Oh hell yeah!
When?
Whenever they decide to do it. Right now they're deciding like, oh, let's come up with a new Bronco and shit. But they could totally put efforts into.
I
like,
saw one of
making
those new
something
Broncos
interesting.
today. It looked like a Honda Element.
Looked weird, didn't it? Yeah, I saw one the other
They
day.
need
and
to
I
go
couldn't remember
ahead
what it was.
and do something.
Also, Kia changed.
Because
their
seriously,
emblem.
I think I look at my 20. No, what is it? It's a 2005 Mercury Grand Marquis. Thank you. And that thing is a smooth daddy.
It's a boat.
I'd rather buy another one of those if, God forbid, something should ever go wrong with mine than buy most of the cars that are being sold right now.
Well, sure, that's fair.
I'd want to buy a Tesla if I could afford it.
You don't want to do that.
Oh, I would love to have one.
I mean, they have all the cool little bells and whistles, but really,
I'd love to hang out at the charging station with the other Tesla owners.
That sounds fucking horrible.
I'd like bring a picnic.
And you gotta
I'd be like, oh, hey, bro, you charging up? Yeah, me too, bro.
You gotta try to have someone install.
Just
one of
doing
these
my
little-
part, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and, you know, people are fucking up though, because that's an expensive ass thing to just have. You got to get that box in your garage that you connect it to.
Do
so
they
you
all
can
get
home.
that? Does
I
everybody
think
that
it's
has
like
one of
an
those have to
included
have one of those?
possibility, unless you want to just take it to a charge station at a truck stop or something.
I
every
wonder
time you
how
do it.
many days you can go on a charge from a charge station. Oh, maybe don't put the QT cup in front of the camera. Not a sponsor.
I think it's a mileage thing, really. Like I think it's like, you know, distance that you can travel on one charge. And so they made it in a way that if you're going anywhere, you should be able to access one. But then what, you got to sit there and just like
I mean, because you can go,
Look at
what,
your phone.
300 miles on a charge?
take a nap, something like that. I thought it was originally.
Is that high? Is that low?
Originally it was 300 miles.
Do you want to look it up?
Well, I mean, I just drove like roughly.
I'm doing my
300.
Diet Coke shuffle over here. If you could look it up.
I got a cat on me.
You got a cat on you?
I got a cat on me. Okay,
That's
so
the excuse I get?
I'm just saying that they made it a possibility for. I mean, I just drove yesterday. I just fucking drove like 300 miles. I guarantee you, I passed multiple.
In a Toyota.
No, actually, we took Danielle's Lexus.
Oh, that must be nice.
We had put premium gas in it. Premium
Really?
gas at a gas station I went to in the middle of Missouri was $3.89 a gallon.
Whoa!
I hated that experience.
Whoa!
Yeah, and then I spent $5 on Cheetos.
Oh my God!
I know.
See,
I know.
that's like one of those places where if everything there is going to be so expensive,
It's like $60.
maybe we shouldn't live there. Maybe we shouldn't inhabit that place.
$65 to put its fucking premium gas in this gas tank on this car.
I mean, premium's the best one.
What was I looking up again?
How far can you get on a charge on a Tesla? I could probably look it up right
Nope,
here.
Hold on.
I just because I got 2 keyboards, I got this box of
Here you go, I
Cheez-Its.
got it. I'm pulling it up right now. This is saying for a 2022 Tesla Model S now, 396 to 405 miles, battery only.
How much?
396 to 405. Now the Model Y can get 326. The Model X can get 340 to 360, and the Tesla Model 3, the newest one, can get only 263 miles. You couldn't even get to Kansas City on one of these things. I think from right here. It's just what I'm experiencing.
How often do I have to get gas? How many miles do you think that is?
I don't know. It depends on the vehicle. Your car, it's that V8, and it's that old heavy car, so it burns gas like a motherfucker. You gotta get gas way more than I do.
You think so? More often?
Well, yeah. I got a little 4-cylinder Toyota Corolla. That thing is light as shit, and it gets good gas mileage.
You're the one with the Toyota.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do worry about this. I do worry about Tesla's place in the economy because, like, let's just say that Elon decided to commit a crime and go to prison forever, or let's say he gets murdered. Like, I mean, where's all that money go? What happens to
Most of
Bitcoin?
his money in that's probably in shares, and that probably gets liquidated or divvied. Right? They like dissolve his shares because like he's dead, therefore no one owns them unless he gives them to his family. But last I checked, his little robot kid and his whole family's splitting up, right? Didn't him and Grimes break up a little bit? I'm a little bad.
Yeah, I think they're choosing to positively discouple.
Just discontinue the marriage.
Yeah, we'd like to. I don't. Were they married?
DC the matrimony. They were married. I thought.
I don't think they were married.
Pretty sure they're getting a divorce.
Will you look up to see if they were married?
Damn it, yeah. Where's Joe? Damn it, Joe. Why you gotta be at school?
I know. He's so busy right now. School is really kicking his ass, filling up his hard drives.
So, break up after 3 years together.
Yeah, I think they just broke up.
Breaks up. I thought they were married.
That's what's. You know what though? She decided she didn't need to get married because she got that anchor baby.
Hold on. Every news portal that he and Grimes are semi-separated.
I mean, if Tesla was momentarily worth $1 trillion because of the deal with Hertz, does that mean he was technically a trillionaire?
I don't give a shit.
Because I heard someone say the other day that he became the world's first trillionaire.
And maybe, but I also think
But is that what that
he
means?
might
See,
be
this
a
is what we
supervillain.
need Al Ludwig on the case.
Call him. Do it. Send him a
Do you think I
text.
could just call him?
Shoot him an email. I don't know.
I've never just called him.
No?
Should we call him?
I don't know. I couldn't even hear him. I don't have a headset.
No, I got it. We'll put him on speaker. We'll go old. This is guerrilla warfare,
Are you
Jesus.
sure that's going to pick up well on your microphone?
I mean, his kids are probably asleep.
Are we calling your lawyer right now?
Yeah, let's just see if he's got a second.
Your attorney? Al Ludwig Esquire?
Here we go. We're FaceTiming him.
All right.
And so we were talking about Tesla and the valuation and what do we do if he dies?
You were. I don't really give a shit about him.
You don't care?
No, he's one of the richest people on the goddamn planet, and he don't want to solve anyone's problems. He's supposed to hold on to it and put rockets in space and shit. Fuck that.
No, it's Jeff Bezos.
Hmm?
Jeff Bezos.
No, if they have the same amount of money, more or less, more than we do, and they're choosing not to do anything with it.
But doesn't Tesla do some, or doesn't Elon do some cool stuff though?
He put a Tesla in space.
Yeah, so that's part of the issue, right? Is talk to me about that as the everyman.
What? Money could have been spent better elsewhere?
No, so I'm saying, like, should we be upset that people are trying to go to space when we still don't have clean drinking water in Flint, Michigan?
Well, no, see, that's what we were talking about this last week, and it's that, like, so if someone fixes Flint, Michigan's water, then every other city in the United States that needs that exact same thing is going to want it.
Well,
And
everyone
that's
should
why
have
no
the
one's
clean
fixing
drinking
it.
water.
That's why no one's fixing it. Plus, when people get sick from the drinking water, they go to the hospital, then they get a bill. Then, the American healthcare business makes more money.
Wow.
And that's that's my whole thought on that situation. And I could be wrong.
Shots fired.
But I think we talked about this last time I was here because I'm heavy anti that shit.
Oh yeah, you've never been about that shit.
Nope.
Not once.
Nope. Maybe if I had $1 trillion, I'd be about that shit.
Now, what would you do if you had $1 trillion? Would you just pay cash at the doctor? Can you even do that?
If I was a trillionaire, a doctor would come to me. What are you talking about? You have to leave the comfort of your home when you are ill, if you're that rich.
Like who?
As rich as any of those people that can have a doctor do
No,
a
I'm
house
just
call?
trying to
What?
think like who would be that doctor.
Oh,
Rich people would recommend somebody.
I don't know. I don't really know any.
Because
Like,
when you go to an office, you know that person can maintain an office, right?
Sure won't
but
be
like,
Dr. Phil.
wouldn't you be worried about like a crazy doctor coming to your house and messing you up like Michael Jackson?
I mean, yeah, I don't want methadone and morphine and whatever the hell else they had him on. I don't want that shit. But you know, that's what he was doing though. He was rich.
The
He was spending his
propofol.
money, having his doctor just send him shit, if not coming to see him personally. So, you know, Hitler did the same thing.
Hitler had witches and shit
he was
around him all the
fucked
time.
Up on shit. He had a lot going on. Some say he's still alive because he is indeed bulletproof.
Who?
Huh?
Hitler?
Yes.
Is that a reference to something?
No. But it made me think of that one song, Bulletproof, by what's her name? LaRue.
LaRue.
That
You know, that
popped
was
in
my
my head right when I
favorite
said it.
aspect of the man who killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot was that he killed the real Hitler, but he was tore up about it because he had a bunch of fake Hitlers that continued being Hitler for Hitler even after Hitler was anti-Hitlered.
Damn, that's a spoiler alert. I ain't seen that movie.
Oh my God! The end made me cry because he has a younger brother that's his barber in the movie, and at the end he gives him this dinosaur that was his brother's when they were little kids, like a little plastic brontosaurus, and it got me right in my field strings. I tried to tell my buddy Austin to watch it, and he turned it off. He said, "No, this movie sucks." I said, "Hello."
I mean, I tried to watch it too. I fell asleep about 5 minutes in though.
You fell asleep. I've never felt so
I was
disrespected. It's maybe Sam Elliott's best role. It's definitely my favorite perspective on World War II, and really the bulk of the movie has very little to do with Bigfoot.
Well,
The
I mean,
Bigfoot
what-
part is definitely probably the cheesiest part.
Well, now see, I'm offended because you just said that's Sam Elliott's best role, but I mean, what?
It's
about,
so good.
What about Roadhouse?
Well, I mean,
Really holding. that
needless
one
to
out there,
say,
huh?
are we gonna say? I mean, are we gonna say Roadhouse was the better movie? Sure. More important, definitely.
Yeah, and that's probably debatable, I'm sure, amongst other people, but we could both
You know,
agree
and
that
haters
Roadhouse
gonna
is more
hate.
enjoyable to watch.
Haters are gonna hate.
I'm kind of jealous of his barnhouse living situation in that movie. You know, I want to be able. to
I
like,
worry
put
about the
on
AC.
jeans with
You know
no
what I mean?
pants.
I have to be able to chill my
Well,
loins.
I think they were at a place that had cool nights. You know, and he had a fireplace. in
Wasn't
there.
it in Texas?
Yeah, but the nights out there can be cold. I don't think it was in Texas.
I don't know if I could live in a barn.
I thought it was a really cool living situation.
Like if it had a nice climate-controlled micro loft
When
at the top
you're,
of it
like,
where it could cool my
you are
loins.
young and lean and covered in muscle.
If you're
and
doing
have
Tai
beautiful,
Chi by the
beautiful-
pond at
have a beautiful
5
mullet.
a.m.,
You're not worried about the heat at that point in time. No.
no, you got to sweat out the toxins.
But it's also maybe why he didn't wear underpants under his Wranglers. Is because,
Mm.
you know.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is that the movie he just pulls them on?
Mm-hmm.
Bare-assed?
Panties.
He's raw dogging it at the Roadhouse.
No. You ever do that and then like the zipper just kind of hits your shaft?
Oh
No,
my
no,
God.
Sir.
Oh,
No, sir. Don't like it.
that's not my favorite.
Nope. Got to wrap something in tape or something. Can't do that.
Oh, taping the inside of the zipper is not a bad idea to prevent that problem.
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
Electrical tape along the inside of your zipper so you can free ball it at the Roadhouse.
Yeah, and they can just swing while you're doing roundhouse kicks and and ripping people's throats out.
Okay, so I tried to FaceTime Alfred, but I know he doesn't have an iPhone, so it's probably on one of his
Oh.
iPads, and one of his kids is probably playing, like, Count Monster or something.
Or Fortnite.
Yeah, Apex Mobile. Shout out. Hashtag. Posted some Apex wins this week on my YouTube channel.
Just got one before I came here.
I'm trying to hit 1,000 kills with Loba. 100 wins. I also main Fuse sometimes. I really got into Fuse this season.
Yes. Is this what your people want to listen to?
I always mention the gaming because I try to cross promote. You know what I mean? If they like
Well, I love
watching
Personally,
gameplay,
I'm trying to get back into like single player games
hot
too.
live battle royale content.
No, that stuff's all great and hot and fancy, but also I just got I spent $8 on The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and I got to tell you, I'm thoroughly enjoying it so far.
Yeah, I need to get back into Days Gone because I was getting
Yeah, I
really
never finished that. I started
deep
that
into
too.
it, and then but sometimes I'm down here by myself and I don't want to play a gruesome zombie game late at night. I'm afraid I'm going to feel like someone's going to grab me and I could pass out.
Yeah, I think that they'll have to go over all this stuff that's laying around, and they'll.
It's
stumble
gotten a
over
lot
it,
better
but,
since
yeah.
last time you were here, right?
It has. You cleared it out, so I can walk through.
Yeah, I mean, it
Last
takes a
time I had to
village.
climb.
I mean, we're coming out of a dark period.
Yes, the sun is rising.
And I've been gigging my ass off, shooting music videos in the middle of abandoned lots.
Where else do you shoot them?
Oh.
That just reminded me of "Lick It Up" by Kiss, because that music
That
music video is hot trash.
Lick it up. Is that when they don't have makeup?
That's when they're not wearing makeup. And
Oh,
you see
that's
how
hard.
fucking hideous Gene Simmons is.
Yeah, they look
Actually,
like.
I think back then he was young, and so that means he was fucking. And it's like, imagine being a person that's like, I'm fucking Gene Simmons. Oh, I'm fucking Gene Simmons. Oh my god.
Jesus.
And that face looking up at you, because Lord knows he's not a top.
Really?
I don't know. I can't imagine him thrusting much.
Wow.
Seems like a lay there and take it.
Well, this is the content our family wants to hear.
Do you think they give a shit about Apex Legends? They more want to talk about how ugly Gene Simmons is.
They want to talk about envisioning Gene Simmons mid-coitus. Then
Well,
just
someone was doing it.
then let me just mention that we're at twitch.tv/JacobV, streaming at Deep Impact STL on Apex Legends.
What? Was that a plug?
I was referring back to the plug.
Okay, that's the plug. I thought you were trying to talk to me for a second. I was very confused.
No, we're good. Let's move on. 4.3 million workers have yet to return to the workforce. Could it be permanent?
Well, no. Eventually, the conditions are get so bad, everyone's going to have to get a second job. That means their
Do you
second
think
job's gonna
people
go up in
aren't
heat.
going back to work?
Will you let me finish?
Oh.
People aren't going to go back to the jobs that they hate, so unless they have to. And since the value of the dollar is dropping drastically, it's horrible. The inflation right now is just ridiculous. And so eventually, everyone's going to have to get a second job. Some people are going to have to get second jobs back at those places they already know how to work, and they can basically do it mindlessly like a fucking Taco Bell, and it's going to be horrible. Or driving a school bus or anything like that. And, eventually it's all going to be filled, but everyone's going to be pissed off about it.
See, I think there's this illusion of this prosperity that people are experiencing right now that keeps them from returning to those jobs. I think they didn't
Illusion of
have
prosperity.
jobs.
What illusion of prosperity?
I'm saying you're making it sound like there's something that's allowing people to do something better, so they're not going back to those old jobs.
No. They just found a job that pays them around the same.
But if
treats
they
them
had
a
to
little bit like
leave during the pandemic, for whatever reason, they had to find some other way to pay the bills. We only got a couple of stimulus checks.
Well, there were stimulus checks. There was unemployment. Other people were getting.
Isn't the
grants to small
unemployment thing
businesses.
over, though? I mean, especially locally?
I think that it definitely got knocked down to the point where it's not worth it anymore. But there's still people doing it.
There's still nobody working at the fucking McDonald's. I pulled into a McDonald's at 8:30 the other night, and they were closed.
Yeah, shit's crazy right now. I don't know what to tell you. I was driving over here, and I don't really go to Chick-fil-A. I don't support it, but I drove by that one, and there was only one person outside taking drive-through orders.
Oh, shameful.
I know. Can you imagine?
Shameful.
Ugh.
I wonder if their dining rooms are closed. They were talking about closing their dining rooms.
Yeah, it's only getting worse. It's just going to come right back and knock us all
I
out.
wonder if Raising Cane's actually sent those corporate people in to work at stores.
Oh, that thing they were talking about swapping?
They were talking. They had a shortage, so they were going to start sending their corporate employees. Oops.
Oh, I thought it was like a fun thing. Like, you all go work here, and we'll have them come work here. Oh. You know what I mean? I don't know. I've been busy doing my own shit. My head's been up my own ass, so.
Great. So you're saying we don't know?
What I don't know what everyone's feeling about everything. I know that right now I'm working a level of work that I don't want to work any more than I am, and I'm still not making it happen. It's hard. It's hard these days. Shit's rough nowadays.
That's my favorite thing. Shit's rough nowadays.
I just had this rich dude that was this rich drunk old man that was at the brewery the other night telling me that this dude, like, who has a Tesla, just bought a house over here by Francis Park for a ridiculous amount of money. And I was just kind of like, what? A house over there right now going for that amount of money? He's like, yeah. And then he said the guy didn't get an inspection done or anything on it. And then they were trying to move in, but they couldn't get an occupancy permit or whatever because the conditions of the joint. They can't even hook up his Tesla charge box in his garage because the electrical's all fucked up.
Is that real?
That's real.
Oh my God.
That's real shit.
That's full circle.
And it makes you think, like, what's going on? Like, you got a house for sale in your neighborhood. I just saw it. I'm betting that house is going for like $350,000 right now. Ain't worth it, but it's getting it. What's going to happen when that'll crash down?
See, that's what I'm talking
right
about.
Back to 08.
National fast food chain Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers has a new solution to the restaurant industry's labor shortage. It's asking corporate employees to work as fry cooks and cashiers. The privately held Baton Rouge, Louisiana-based company has a total of 750 corporate employees, 500 in its Dallas office. Of those, 250 will be going into the field as frontline employees. Another 250 who work as marketers and trainers will shift to restaurant and recruiting jobs.
That doesn't sound good.
The employees will be housed in hotels for 1 to 2 weeks at company expense. Other corporate employees will be working to recruit some workers or will work in one of the company's more than 500 drive-thrus. It's all hands on deck.
Maybe they're going to do some sort of quality assurance thing, because I got to tell you, Raising Cane's has been steadily more and more disappointing.
I've never had a bad meal at Raising Cane's.
Dude, the chicken tenders have halved in size. I swear to God.
That's
I'm
potential.
sorry, but if you only do fucking chicken tenders, get them right.
Pretty soon we had to start dropping hours of operations. We had to cut down some of our channels, like mobile ordering and dining rooms. But I'm not seeing an update on this, like if they've gone in or not, or what that looks like. So who knows? Who knows? But, I mean, so you're saying that you think people are going to have to go back to working at Wendy's?
I think that eventually, if things keep going this way, everyone's going to have
Going
to do
what
something.
way?
What way, as in, we talked about it already, the value of the dollar is dropping.
What is
And
that about?
That means that everyone's going to have to make more money. What do you do to make more money? You work more. And then what do you got to do then when you can't work anymore at the place you're already working? You got to find another place to work. Then you're that dude that doesn't sleep, or that lady, or that person that doesn't get any fucking sleep because they're just trying to put food on the table. Whether or not they got kids, or cats, or dogs, or a goldfish, everyone's eventually going to have to get a second fucking job if something doesn't turn around real quick.
And what do you think's causing all that inflation? What do you think's causing that inflation?
We live in a toxic capitalist environment.
Okay, explain to me that.
Let me explain toxic capitalist environment.
Yeah, just describe the elements of that maybe people could visualize.
There's that whole 1% and not 1% situation where it's just like there's that large group of rich people that...
The hoarding of the wealth, we talked about this.
They're dragons sitting on their hoards. That's what they're doing, and we're not allowed to get in there.
Yeah.
And there's just more and more people.
Now...
There's a population crisis. Let's get at that. People are having babies.
Yeah.
Can't stop them.
Yeah.
We're all going to pretend that that's something that still needs to be happening, and no one's going to do anything about it, and there's still more mouths to feed and more people.
But also,
wanting
don't we need to
shit.
restructure our workforce in a way where I was thinking about this today with my own business. It's like sometimes it'd be really good if I could have some of my employees on hand for like 90 minutes at a time, right? Or like if I could exchange responsibilities for the company's capital in a way that was more directly linked with how we make money, right? Like it doesn't. I mean, you're suggesting that people are going to have to continue to only exchange hours on the clock for money, so they're going to have to make more money, so they're going to have to go back to working at Wendy's and Huddle House.
Yeah, everyone's like getting shit paid. What's starting out with a master's degree and making $15 an hour, that kind of shit. That's the problem. You put all this work in, you throw yourself into copious amounts of debt that you'll probably never
Copious.
Copious. I use the word.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you. And and then you I lost my fucking train of thought now. You put yourself in all this fucking debt, trying to get this degree that you're told that you need to have, so that you can work this position that now is paying lower and lower and lower, because everything's going to shit and everything's losing its value. That eventually everything that you put all that work in is not going to mean shit. You're going to get a job that you hate because you want to move up, but you can't get any more money out of it. So then you get a second job and you drive yourself crazy.
That's it. See, my wife and I in our careers never considered, oh, you know what? I don't have upward mobility at my job, so I'm going to get a second job on the side. Like, wouldn't you ideally do your role in a company where you'd have that upward mobility instead? Like,
or if you can't move upwardly, you can go to a place that gives you the opportunity to do so. But right now, it's such an oversaturated market for employees that are in these positions that then
and we've talked about that. We've talked about
no one's going to stoop down to that previous looked down upon level of being like, a service worker. If they don't got to do it anymore, they're not going to go back to it. I sure as shit hate being in the service industry. I mean, I love people I work with, but that doesn't mean that I enjoy being treated like a lesser individual.
Now, as somebody who's worked in the service capacity for so long,
by the client,
just imagine. Now, I don't want you to think about whether or not this should happen. Let's just say it just happens, whether we like it or not. If the government takes over health care for working class people and guarantees them health care so that the small businesses don't have to provide that to their full-time employees. Do you think that would, or that they don't have to buy their own plan on the marketplace, and you know how expensive that is. You've done that.
And you're just talking
Do you
about
think
the
that would
idea of
fix a
everyone.
lot of the restaurant staffing? If people are like, look, I can go to this bar and grill and make $20 an hour for 3 days, and then I don't have to worry about my benefits and stuff because I have this guaranteed healthcare thing. Do you think that would actually change people's decision making in that field of work?
Well, if healthcare was free and provided,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but that's never going to happen here.
Why?
And it just never will. There's too much money to be made in the sick people business.
Is that the bigger problem?
Greed is actually the issue with that more than anything else. Not to mention that there is a population crisis and has been for decades, but we're not going to fix that, like I said. But no, I mean, there's too many people that need to be taken care of, and there's too many dollars to be made on taking care of those people. So that's never going to get turned into a universal thing, I don't think, because why would you? Healthcare is a business. We're just cash cows for them.
So you think it's more about the greed of the industrial complex than it is about some sort of classist prejudice?
Oh, I'm sure that there's still a big part in that too. Yes, because I'm certain that like the most, well-off people right now are probably all, white people that don't want to be around anybody but rich white people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a thing.
And do you think that nepotism is conscious and preferential, or do you think it's implicit, like subconscious bias?
I think that it's actually more of like a nepotism. I think it's more of just kind of like for the people that do it, they don't actually think that they're doing that.
But isn't there some of that
It's an
tribalism,
afterthought.
brother? Like people are like, even if they're not physically related to you, they're like, oh, he's one of us type of thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna hook up my buddy Charlie with this job at this place. Yeah, why not? And it's like, oh, he knows people. And like,
Does
yeah.
Charlie need a job?
Well, that was just a name I was throwing.
Oh,
out.
you were picking a Charlie. We have a friend named Charlie.
We do have a friend. And I'm
Shout
not
out.
Talking about him. He's doing great.
Hashtag.
No, yeah. I'm not gonna dox that boy. He's doing a good job. He's doing good.
Do you know anything about the protocols of the Elders of Zion?
One more time.
The protocols of the Elders of Zion?
Is that from a TV show?
No, the protocols of the Elders of Zion is sort of like a propaganda text from, many decades ago that alleges a secret meeting took place of numerous powerful Jewish people in which they plotted to take over the world and manipulate the media and the economics and form a one-world government.
This is just like what Mike Myers' dad is talking about. Also
This
played
is
by Mike
exactly
Myers.
so. Here's the
And
thing:
So I Married an Axe-Murderer.
It's
And
such a
what
funny
What
thing.
was it called again? Because they met at a place in Colorado.
The
called
Meadows.
The Meadows. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then what was the group called? The Triumvirate? No. The Pentamvirate.
Oh, the Pentamvirate. That's totally right.
That's right.
So
There's
this
five-
is
five
so.
major
What's
heads.
crazy is it's funny because it is so absolutely ridiculous. It's not a text that I've read
Exactly.
or
It sounds like a
or buy
conspiracy
into.
theory.
But here's the thing: it was read popularly by Hitler and some of the 9/11 attackers, but especially looking at the context in which it was published, it was absolutely a propaganda piece. It's sort of like a racist fantasy. It was published in a time where lots of misinformation was being printed because if you could pay to
That never
print it,
happens now.
you could give it validity. Literature was not questioned the way it is now. Like you get a book at the airport and it looks sketchy, and it's like, what is this? Who put this out? You look for something to validate it. This was really before we had that process integrated in into our lives. So this, a lot of people through history have read this, and it's fueled this like conspiracy, like we see now with QAnon, where it's like it's always the same thing. It's always that there's a secret group of highly powerful people who worship Satan and they want to control everything secretly or something.
I think that the worshiping Satan thing is just put out there so that people will still.
It's totally, that's the thing. The whole thing is like a propaganda crusade, right? It was like the seed of this wave that we see every so often of
We know that they're evil because they were caught.
people like,
worshiping
oh, they're going to try to put Christians in jails and they're going to lock us all up and we need freedom. And that comes from this kind of same avenue here. Obviously, it's historically significant, but I was just listening to this video earlier and looking up this thing, and it's kind of like the root of all the misguided conspiratorial ideologies that are even like
Like
online
the
right now.
precursor.
The what?
The precursor.
What's that?
It's like the thing that was like
You're calling the Protocols of the Elders of Zion the precursor.
to like QAnon and shit.
QAnon, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I was just telling, because it's so funny. I'll do this with a group of my friends that will make jokes about, will say ridiculous things as if like we're just talking about it. So I was saying something about how, Joe Biden was a clone of a satanic pedophile who was executed in a secret hearing led by, Trump, who is still the president, and he's secretly at night hunting all these elitist pedophiles or something. Because it's so funny how ridiculous it is, but people really believe that stuff is happening.
That shit sounds crazy.
Bro, it's Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Like, that is seriously what it sounds like. They think...
But the fun part about that is if it's being like somehow like everyone's pulling the strings and there is like people running the whole show and that whole situation, it's just kind of like another thing that's always been done as propaganda, like even back in like old monarchs and shit. It's like it's not good to keep the people happy. It's good to keep the people scared because then they have to rely on you.
So your perspective is like that maybe
That's their
governments
mentality.
like that propaganda?
Fuck yeah. You kidding me? Because when everyone's scared, they're going to look at the TV for the next message from whatever person's in that.
Because it's so interesting, because people like Hillary Clinton's entire bloodline and the Queen of England and that whole family and, George Soros and stuff, these people are often pointed out by people who believe this kind of thing as like, the people that you'd see at the Meadows from the Mike Myers movie.
I mean, it makes you worry. Hillary Clinton, I guarantee you, in her life, Hillary Clinton has probably taken a bite out of a human heart. I guess got a feeling.
Really?
I don't know. Something about someone that's in that position where all the things have come up and are like, could she be behind? Could the whole family be behind all these horrible things? And it's just kind of like
Because that's one of the things that some of these people online and stuff believe is that these people, this secret evil class of evil doers or something. What did
but not
W.
out of
Bush
belief,
call 'em?
out of tradition.
No, but they
exactly.
they kill children for their adrenochrome.
That's fucking crazy.
There are seriously, I swear to God, you can look this up. You could type in on
What
your
the hell
search
is
engine
adrenochrome?
that it's a chemical compound that is secreted from the adrenal gland. And apparently, rich satanic elites get high on it.
Get high on it. You mean like how when dolphins bat around a pufferfish?
It's what the guy was talking about in Fear and Loathing, Antonio Banderas, where he's talking about the adrenochrome.
Are you talking about? I thought it was Benicio del Toro.
What did I say?
Antonio Banderas?
Yeah, that's who I meant. Whoops.
Jeez, yeah.
Whoops. I gotta pee.
Oxidation of adrenal epinephrine.
Here, will you just read that real out loud for the people?
Adrenochrome is a chemical compound with the molecular formula C9H9NO3, produced by oxidation of adrenaline and epinephrine. The derivative compound carbozochrome. I don't want to do all this. I don't want to do this. Is a hemostatic medication. Despite the compound's name, it is unrelated to the element chromium. Get out of here. That's wild. Instead, the chrome suffix indicates a relationship to color, as a pure adrenochrome is deep violet. Deep violet. That's all I got. Other than that, I got molecular mass and stuff like that. I don't want to read this stuff. I don't want to. Ooh. Oxidation reaction that converts adrenaline into adrenochrome occurs both in vivo and in vitro. I'm just reading at this point. Hey, the Blues just scored a goal, so that's good.
Oh, don't ruin it for me. I got a
Just scored a goal. I'm so TiVoed. No, either way. So yeah.
So, yeah, so that
they're doing something
people
to
believe-
oxidize adrenaline, and then that makes adrenochrome, and so then they're suckling it from the sweet teat of infant children. Is that what you're saying?
from their adrenal glands, they like cut them out.
Oh
So
my
when you said Hillary Clinton ate somebody's heart, I'm like, oh, so you know what we're talking about.
I don't. I was making that up because it sounded like something that someone
People are
that's
running with
crazy
that.
would
I'm
do.
afraid to even Google it on anything. I don't want to end up on a
So
list.
This has nothing to back it up really, other than just like things I've seen on the internet. And so I mean, this is all grapevine. Yeah, I don't know. I really should study more, but I'm just living up so in my own thing so much that
Yeah. And so really it's like an intellectual crusade. It's like a thing that the old, Roman Catholic Empire kind of
Exactly.
used.
It's been in play for
Yeah.
centuries.
Absolutely.
100%. And it keeps the people in power that need to be in power, and it keeps the people that don't need to be in power scared, and that's the deal.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be happy and healthy and feel taken care of. The problem is they're not being taken care of. They're just being put into a position where they feel smaller and smaller and make the people that are bigger, bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just trailing on to something that doesn't make any sense.
No, that's really great.
I'm sure
That's
I'm
really
contradicting
great.
myself, but
That's really great. Man, we covered some ground. Last time we were here, the return with Baby Brother was a big 90-minute episode. We covered some really great stuff. If you haven't heard that yet, make sure you hit that. Make sure you follow us on @JacobVWeekly on Instagram. You can contact the show with questions and topics for future discussions at jacobvweekly@gmail.com. You can call the show at 314-632-6602 and leave a voicemail. You can find original music by Jacob V on all of your musical platforms, but also find us with our new exclusive constant release of Vault stuff on stuff from the Google Drive that I didn't know what to do with until we had patreon.com/JacobV. Clay, any parting words? I so appreciate you coming here to do this with me.
are we done?
Yeah, why not? We did 90 minutes last time, so we're over 45 now. We'll be Gucci.
Oh, we're done already. Okay.
Yeah. No, we were clipping, brother.
I guess. I mean, we didn't really.
We did the
Alec,
preview.
The Alec Baldwin shooting somebody thing.
I think we hit it too early.
We really hit it early, and we really bounced right over it.
Yeah, we really kept going. The Tesla stuff was good, though.
I suppose.
Do you have some feelings now about the Alec Baldwin thing that you want to unearth?
Oh, I think that's horrible for that woman who got killed and her family. I think that's horrible. And
That's fair.
I don't know if they're going to count it as anything. But also he's a rich celebrity, so maybe he'll get out of anything anyway. But it's also on the people that handed him the gun. And apparently, I heard something that they were offset shooting it at cans or something, just playing with them at one point. So no wonder it got lost in the mix.
Wow.
Fucking around out in the middle of nowhere, trying to make some sort of western, and you're shooting beer cans 1 second. Next thing you know, that gun's in a bag with a bunch of other
Well,
guns. You think you're full of
shouldn't
blanks.
there
Next thing
be
you know, you're
no?
gonna
I
kill somebody and
mean,
kill somebody. That sucks.
there
Although
shouldn't
he didn't
be.
just kill that lady. He shot somebody else too. I think he winged somebody and then it killed her.
No, right. That's what the gun went off and killed one person and wounded the director.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I feel terrible for him if he really was just doing what he was supposed to do and this was somebody else's fault and this happened because it's on him, really.
I mean, we'll never really know, but I'm pretty sure that Alec.
But
Baldwin
shouldn't there be
would
a
have killed
law?
somebody by now.
This has happened so many times.
you
Shouldn't there
wanted
be a law that you shouldn't? You can kill somebody with blanks. It's happened, right?
No, yeah, I'm sure that fragments of metal, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, I mean, are we saying there was live ammunition on set?
I'm pretty sure that that's what it was said. Yes.
Oh my! See,
And,
that's not okay.
And even if the shot that killed Brandon Lee was a fragment off of something, then
I think it
that's
was
definitely
shrapnel
a different case
from the gun,
Yeah, but that's like a fired projectile shrapnel, doesn't
which
usually
is
come from-
sketchy. The whole thing's sketchy because they killed his father. They poisoned his poor father.
Alec Baldwin's.
No. Bruce Lee was assassinated by
Right.
poisoning,
Right.
and then his son gets killed by a real bullet in a fake gun on a movie set. What?
The guns aren't fake. They just have blanks.
This is what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know.
The guns aren't fake unless you need prop guns that are low budget film shit. But a movie like The Crow, a top tier titan of industry film like The Crow, I'm sure they had all real guns.
Is that true?
No, that movie probably was low budget as fuck. Let's be honest. I have no idea.
Oh, wouldn't that suck if they fucking skimped on the gun budget and that's why he died?
It's just like how Reservoir Dogs, they were all wearing black jeans.
Do you want to? We have time. Do you want to look into the Brandon Lee thing here? Let me just,
suppose you could
sir.
do that.
This is a very intellectual episode of this show. You're very academic and focused today, and I love your perspective because it's so different from mine. Because I represent those of us.
Are you patronizing me?
No. Here's the thing.
I'm over there.
No, I represent those of us who overinflated the educated working class that we all decided, oh, we'll go to school and everything will be fine, but now we're all figuring out, oh, we hate these jobs and this economy
and
isn't
teachers
set
have
up for
never
us.
Paid well enough. Let's be honest.
Well, right, and so you went a different route. You kind of went into the workforce and were just the other the other way. You didn't initially take on a bunch of student debt like we talked about. You have some now, but
Yeah, unfortunately.
but so I love your perspective on these things because I think differently. Like sometimes I think that the healthcare thing is more about classism than it is about economics or whatever. But I think your perspective on that's really valuable for me to think about. That was really great. So Brandon Lee, what happened to Brandon Lee?
Well, he's dead now.
R.I.P. little bruh.
Are you on the
God, he was handsome. Was he half American? He looks like Freddie Prinze Jr.
I think he was.
Oh, tragic. Let's look at death. March 31st, 1993, Lee was filming a scene in The Crow where his character is shot and killed by thugs. In the scene, Lee's character walks into his apartment and discovers his fiancée being beaten and attacked. A thug, played by actor Michael Massey, fires a Smith & Wesson model 629 44 caliber revolver at Lee's character as he walks into the room. In the film shoot preceding the fatal scene, the prop gun, which was a real revolver, was loaded with improperly made dummy rounds, improvised from live cartridges that had the powder charges removed by the special effects crew. So in close-ups, the revolver would show normal-looking ammunition. However, the crew neglected to remove the primers from the cartridges, and at some point before the fatal event, one of the rounds had been fired. Although there were no powder charges, the energy from the ignited primer was enough to separate the bullet from the casing and push it partway into the gun barrel where it got stuck. Oh, my God.
And so he was hit by a bullet fragment.
Because the bullet fragment was supposed to be in the gun so you could see it in camera. But when it went off in one of the takes, it got stuck. So then later, the gun was not properly checked and cleared before the blank was fired, and the dummy bullet previously lodged in the barrel was then propelled forward by the blank's propellant and shot out of the muzzle with almost the same force as if the round were live, striking Lee in the abdomen. After being struck by the bullet, Lee fell backwards instead of forwards as he was supposed to. When the director said cut, Lee did not stand up, and the crew thought he was either still acting or kidding around. Jeff Amata, who immediately checked Lee, noticed something was wrong when he came close to know that Lee was unconscious and breathing heavily. He was probably in shock. Medic Clyde Basie went over and shook Lee to see if he was dazed by hitting his head on the fall, but did not think Lee had been shot since there was no visible bleeding. Basie took Lee's pulse, which was regular, but within 2 to 3 minutes it slowed down dramatically and stopped. Lee was rushed to the New Hanover Regional Medical Center in Wilmington, North Carolina. Attempts to save him were unsuccessful, and after 6 hours of emergency surgery, Lee was pronounced dead at 1:03 p.m. on March 31st, 1993. He was 28.
And see, so that's the kind of thing.
The shooting was ruled an accident due to negligence.
And it was. Just like this accident due to negligence with Alec Baldwin. I'm pretty sure that was just someone that got the shit wrong because they didn't properly check the stuff before they gave it to the actor. And unfortunately, that's what happened. Until proved otherwise, that's what I'm convinced happened. So yeah, I feel terrible.
Oh, Steven Seagal was there
Oh what? Oh, thank goodness.
at the funeral.
The funeral. Thank goodness. He's relevant.
His
still
mother
relevant.
sued the filmmakers, alleging negligence. The suit was settled 2 months later under undisclosed terms. Well, she probably got plenty of money for that. It's just so sad.
Worth it, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, that was a nice little tidbit of info to throw in the end of it.
Well, that's, just tragic. And so these things should have been figured out 30 years ago. Alec Baldwin should not have been able to kill somebody on the set of Rust. And filming needs to proceed.
Could have been worse. Unfortunately, could have been a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just one of those overlooked things. They probably do it so many times that they just don't really even care to look, like, even to see if there's something lodged in the barrel. Or anything.
Well, that's going to change now. I guarantee you.
Oh, I'm sure that the safety regulations on set will definitely.
Oh, the union is going to
Be
lose their
visible.
mind. Oh, my God, are you kidding? The California unions for these types of people?
Also, is Alec Baldwin a Scientologist?
That's a great thing to Google. I didn't think so.
I just
Is
don't want him to
Alec-
be tarnished and be unable to see the aliens if he is. Oh wait, maybe I'm thinking Travolta.
Travolta's definitely a
Definitely
Scientologist.
is, yeah, and then Tom Cruise, little baby Jesus of the Scientologists.
No, he's Catholic.
Tom Cruise has been a Scientologist for a minute, my dude.
I'm talking about Alec Baldwin.
Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. That makes more sense.
But he has acknowledged that Scientology helped his friend Tom Cruise.
And now he's a 9th level purple wizard.
Yeah, he's a fucking... Oh, yeah, he's got that thick staff, brother.
Yeah, they made him 2 inches taller.
Oh.
The Scientologist.
How?
Well, before he came out as a Scientologist, he was 5'5" on Google. Guess what he is now? 5'7".
No way.
Yep, he grew 2 inches through the power of the space lizard.
Of Hubbard?
Is that the
L.
space-
Ron?
L. Ron Hubbard, wasn't that like Mormonism?
No, that's John Smith.
Oh, wait. Oh, L. Ron Hubbard is the guy who created Scientology. Never mind.
Yeah.
Sorry, my brain went a different direction.
Yep. John Smith on the other one. Well, on that note, I'm glad we took that extra time to get all bummed out about the millions of dollars that Brandon Lee's mom got from Paramount.
Was I overly negative in this episode?
No, I feel like this was really good.
Oh, good.
We needed to catch up. We missed a week again.
We did miss a week. What
You're-
were we going to talk about last
You're
week?
fucking me. You're acting like you want 20% of the Patreon, but you're not giving me my weekly.
I am 20%.
But I'm saying, oh, that's right.
Bitch.
So why would I give it back to you? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't need
I'm going to need another episode or two out of you. We'll have a guest next time, though.
Yeah, or just like that's something to talk about.
No, we had tons of good stuff here. Look at my list. It's been crazy. That's why we did the preview of the conversation with Middleton that is also in full on our patreon.com/JacobV because of to explain to people what I've been busy doing. So listen back to some of that. You can find that on Patreon.
Pimp slippers.
Pimp slippers, looking presidential.
Looking presidential.
That Mercedes is undrivable in his front yard right now.
Jesus.
I know. Keep it deep.